Section 9.4b is about solving equations by factoring. So we're going to continue to solve some of these equations using my 4 steps. So let's get to it. Step 1 says get one side equal to 0. So I'm going to add 3a to this side. And then I'm also going to subtract 4 at the same time. So I'm going to create a 0 on the right. And on the left I'll have an 8a squared. Negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6a. And negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9. So there's my new trinomial set equal to 0, and I'll use the diamond to solve that. Multiply 8 times negative 9, I get a negative 72 on the top with a negative 6 on the bottom. So I need two factors of negative 72 that add to be negative 6. Let's start by listing the factors of 72. So these are all the factors that multiply to be 72. Now just because I paused the video and wrote those quickly doesn't mean it came to my mind real fast. I had to get a calculator out and divide by all these numbers, and you should do that also. Now we've got to find two of these numbers that I can get a negative 6 with. Looks like 6 and 12 might work, except I need one of them to be negative because the product is negative. And the sum, since the sum is positive, that means I'm going to make the bigger one the negative value. So let's see, negative 12 times 6 is negative 72, and negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6, so that'll work. Rewriting my trinomial now, using the negative 12a, I get the a from the middle term, plus 6a, and now I'll factor by grouping. Take out a 4a, leaving a 2a minus 3, and then taking out a 3 here, leaving a 2a minus 3. So then factoring out a 2a minus 3, leaving a 4a plus 3, and that equals 0. Once again, all of that work there is step number 2, the factoring step. Now we set each factor equal to 0. And unlike when we did this before, when they were pretty simple, these the solving step now actually has two steps involved in it. So 2a equals 3, then I have to divide by 2. Over here, subtract 3 and divide by 4. So here I have two fractions as my answers. Negative 3/4 is one of the answers, and 3/2. These are the two values that a could be that would solve this equation and make it true. Here's our last example to solve this equation. I'll start by getting one side equal to 0, subtracting 3b squared, and then at the same time I can add 5b. Notice I write them below the like terms here. So 18b squared minus 3b squared is 15b squared. Negative 19 plus 5 is negative 14b. Then we have minus 8 equals 0. My diamond, I'm going to multiply the 15 times negative 8. So I'm going to get negative 120, and then on the bottom negative 14. So now I'm going to get a calculator and list all the factors of 120. So these are all the factors of 120. I need two of them that I can get a negative 14 with. Looks like 6 and 20, except I need a negative 20 with a positive 6, because that will multiply to give me negative, and it will add to give me a negative 14. So we'll rewrite my trinomial using those two numbers, minus 20b and plus 6b. Grouping, take out a 5b, leaving a 3b minus 4, and take out a 2, leaving a 3b minus 4. Continuing to factor, 3b minus 4, leaving a 5b plus 2. So that's all step number 2, factoring. Now we'll set each factor equal to 0. And you may notice that you're going to get some fractional answers here. So now we'll solve. Add 4, 3b equals 4, and then divide by 3. So 4/3 for that one. Over here, subtract 2. 5b equals negative 2, and then divide both sides by 5. And so b is going to equal negative 2/5. So negative 2/5 is one answer, and 4/3 is the other.